good enough for me. C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. Oh, cookie, cookie, cookie starts with C. I sure hope the kids think these look like cookies today, because we're going to talk about baking. I don't know. I hope they look like cookies. I don't know what they'll think. Hey, look who's here. You came today. Welcome to story time today. I hope you didn't hear me singing. That's one of my favorite songs. C is for cookie. That was sung by the Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. He sings that all the time. Do you know how that goes? Here, let's point to our cookies. These are supposed to be cookies today because we're talking about baking today. Do you think they look like cookies? I hope so, because we're going to pretend. Let's try singing our C is for cookie song, shall we? C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. Make a C with your hands. C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. Oh, cookie, cookie, cookie starts with C. Very good, very good. I made these pretend cookies out of felt. Should we count them and see how many they are? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cookies. Don't you wish we could eat them? I do too, but they're just pretend. And that's okay. Now, the reason I made them, because today we're talking about baking. Have you ever baked something, maybe with a grown-up or an older brother or sister? Baking is so much fun. We can mix things together, some flour and sugar and butter and eggs, and bake some cookies or pie or cakes or bread, all kinds of yummy things. Today our story is about some bugs that like to bake. One bug in particular has a bake shop or a bakery that she loves to bake in, but she runs into a problem one day. So shall we see what happens to the tiny baker? This story is written by Haley Barrett and it's illustrated by Allison J. Here is the tiny baker. Let's see what happens in the tiny baker's bakery shop, shall we? The tiny baker offers sweets, a chalkboard list of daily treats. There's her list of all the things she offers every day in her bakery. Puff pastry, custard, caramel, to tempt her tea room's clientele. Her customers line up in rows, antenna wave well-bred hellos. They're always elegantly dressed, silk gowns or trousers neatly pressed. They wait to try her lemon tarts, her sugar-sprinkled cookie hearts, to sample her pecan pralines and nibble lacy Florentines. Look at all those bugs lined up to try her tasty treat. Before the baker opens up, she straightens out a china cup, confirms the pantry is pristine, each surface burnished to a sheen. Her spotty squad is all astir, their whisks are whisking, mixers stir. So the baker's hard at work. Just as the clock begins to chime, her door swings open, right on time. The baker bows to greet them all, then ushers aunts, the tall and small, straight to her tea room's pretty chairs. She mentions her sublime eclairs and offers them pink lemonade or rosehip iced tea, freshly made. Doesn't that sound yummy? But in the kitchen trouble brews. A fragrant breeze brings flighty news. The urgent call to swarm away. Prepare for takeoff, no delay. Uh-oh, who's running away? Who's flying away? Yes, all of the ladybug bakers. Is that going to help the tiny baker? Let's see. The baker, meanwhile, beams with pride, congratulates a groom and bride, then pats an antling on the head and goes to check her gingerbread. She bustles through the kitchen door to find it in complete uproar. Disaster struck while she was out,
A cataclysmic turnabout. Her pastry chefs have flown the coop, one red, enormous, dotty troop. They ditched their frostings, dumped their pies, forsook their candy butterflies. Look at that, there they all go. They're all flying away. The oven's smoking kettle glows, the souffle batter overflows. Dark chocolate drips from ceiling fans and drizzles onto pots and pans. A sudden noise, ba 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 boom, reverberates around the room. The ice cream maker has exploded. As some might say, it a la moded. Uh-oh, look at, do you see all the chocolate all over the fans? There's the cake batter dripping out onto the floor. That bakery is a mess, isn't it? A teacup clatters to the floor as ants rush through the kitchen door. To see her slumped amidst the mess, bewildered, flummoxed, in distress, while sugar drifts like softest snow atop her puffy hat below. There's the poor tiny baker. She doesn't know what to do with that mess. And how is she going to feed all of her guests? Cricket sounds the call to action, setting off an ant reaction. To what do ants do very best? They work together without rest. To clean, to move, to clear, to mend, to help their tiny baker friend. And there are all the ants jumping in to help clean everything up. Isn't that nice of them? They dust her off and stand her up, pour her a piping ant-sized cup. When all is right, they sit back down, retrieve their hat or smooth their gown, and sip their sweet rose-hip iced tea while Cricket chirps his melody. The tiny baker blinks her eyes. She shakes her head in stunned surprise. A half minute passed, no more. The kitchen gleams just like before. No chocolate drips, no sugar snow, no scorching kettle all aglow, no souffle mess, no a la mode, no traces of the episode. And there is her kitchen, all nice and clean. Wasn't that nice of the ants to help her? It was. For me, she dabs a tiny tear. For you, they say, of course, my dear. You're our delightful baker chum, and tea time treats aren't why we come. Though they're delicious, we agree. It's you we're truly here to see. Blushing, the baker lifts a tray. Sweet friends, your efforts saved the day. I hope you all adore eclairs, my treat. And thank you, she declares. Her polished guests nod in accord, their tranquil tea time now restored. Look at the plate of yummy treats she's offering to all the ants that helped her and the crickets. Each night before she goes to sleep, the baker counts not woolly sheep, but friends, true friends who care enough to pitch right in when things get tough. And there she is going off to sleep counting all of her friends. And there they all are on their way back to the bakery to get some more treats. Wasn't that a wonderful baking story about that tiny baker whose help ran away? But her friends came in to help her, didn't they? And they saved the day. I hope you like that story, and I hope you're going to like what we're going to make today. Since we read a story today about bugs, we are going to make our own little cooking bug. Look at that. Isn't it cute? It's made out of a wooden clothespin. So once you're done, we're going to put some magnet on the back of our bug, and then you can put it on your refrigerator. And if you pinch this top part here, it opens up the clothespin. So when it's on your refrigerator, you can put a recipe in the pin or a picture, something special that you like to help you remember this story about baking with bugs. I'm going to show you a list of supplies that you'll need to make your own little baking bug. And then We're going to make one together. I'll see you in a minute.
Now that you have your supplies together, let's make a cooking bug, just like some of the bugs we saw in our story today. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the piece of magnet that will turn our clothespin into a magnet. We're going to take the sticky tape off of the back of that magnet and we're going to put it on the back of our clothespin. This will allow us to stick our finished bug to our refrigerator to either hold a grocery list or a recipe or just a picture or just to have fun. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to make the bug's body. And for that, we'll need 4 pieces of construction paper. Now, I cut my circles of construction paper 4 different colors. You could make yours all the same. It doesn't really matter. You choose what you would like your bug to look like first. First thing we're going to do is fold each circle in half, give it a nice crisp bend, and then fold this one in half, and this one in half, and then one more, and the last one. Oops. Fold it in half and give it a nice crisp fold. There we go. Now we're going to glue the circles together. And to do that, we're going to put a little bit of glue stick on one half of the folded circle and take another circle and attach its folded half just like that to our first circle, okay? So let's get our glue stick. Now it's easiest to do this with glue stick. If all you have is liquid glue, it will work. It will be a little bit wet. But let's put a little bit of glue stick on one half of our circle, and then we'll take the next circle and match it up next to each other. Make sure that the edges meet. Press it together. And then we're going to fold this circle down so we have half of it showing, and we'll put glue on that half of a circle. And then we're going to take another one of our circles, matching the fold and the edges, glue the circle together, okay? Now we have 3 circles together. We're going to take that last circle we just glued, fold it down, put some glue on it so it's nice and gluey, and then take our last circle and press half of it onto that one. So now all 4 of our circles are all pressed together, just like that. They're all glued together. This makes the bug body. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put our glue stick away for now, and now we'll use our liquid glue. We're going to twist the glue open, put glue down the middle of the clothespin, and then we're going to take our circles and we're going to put them right on top of the clothespin, about halfway down the clothespin, okay? We want to be able to leave some space at the top of those circles for the bug's head, its hat, and some space for us to be able to pinch the clothespin open. So very carefully glue down the circles, and now we're ready for the next step. The next step to make our cooking bug is to make its face. I'm using a yellow circle of construction paper, and the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to use a black magic marker, and I'm going to make a smiley face on my bug because he's happy to be cooking. Then I'm going to put some wiggly eyes on him, so I'll make 2 small dots of glue right above the mouth, and I'll put on my wiggly eyes. First I'll put 1, and then I'll put 2. And there is my baking bug's wiggly eyes. Looks like he's really excited to go baking, isn't he? Now, I need to add his antenna and the chef hat. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue across the top of his head, and I'm going to take the antenna that I cut out from black construction paper, and I'll gently place that on either side of his head, like that. And then right in the middle, I'm going to put the chef hat. And there is my baking bug head. Now I'm going to put some glue on the rest of my clothespin, just a little bit, and I'll put the bug's head right like that. So now the bug almost is complete. The next thing I need to do is I need to add some legs. So what I'm carefully going to do is I'm going to carefully close up the middle circles of my bug, and on one side I'm going to put a dot of glue towards the top of the bug and then 2 dots of glue towards the bottom of the bug. And then I'm going to add the legs. I'm going to put one leg up at top, one leg in the middle, and one leg at the bottom. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side of the bug. Hold the circles in the middle, hold those closed, one tiny dot of glue there, one dot of glue down here on the bottom, and then one more small dot of glue on this side. There we go. And then we'll put one leg at the top. I just used black construction paper for the legs, and I cut them in kind of a zigzag shape. So hopefully they look like a bug's legs. A bug might think otherwise, but this is just a pretend paper bug, so I think it'll like it a lot. And there is, whoops, there is our completed baking bug. Now set it someplace safe where it's out of reach of anybody and let it dry completely. And then, just like my sample, it's ready to hang on the refrigerator to hold a picture or a recipe or something exciting.
You're back. Did you have fun making your cooking bug or your baking bug? I'm going to do one more thing. You see mine is missing the magnet. I'm going to do just like you did. I'm going to tear some tape off of the magnet piece, and then what do? Do you remember? Yep, we put it right on the back of the clothespin. And now I can take my little baking bug home and put it on my refrigerator and hang a recipe to bake. Thanks so much for joining me for story time today. I hope you had fun singing about cookies and reading our story about our tiny baker and making your baking or cooking bug. It's always so good to see your smiling face. Thanks for joining me. I hope until I see you again, you keep reading lots of good books. Stop by the library and see me soon. Bye.